How do you make decisions in your business? Are you getting stuck in decision making or analysis paralysis? If you are, then here's a little simple sort of tool for you to use, if I could call it that. There's a system called the OODA Loop. I like saying it, OODA Loop. OODA. Observe, orient, decide, act. And it comes from a decision-making process designed in the US for fighter pilots, I believe. So it was how to help fighter pilots learn to make better decisions faster so they can actually win in battle. And that has been expanded and used in business, because what has been determined is that it's a useful way to make a decision. Now, what I see a lot of the time is that business owners get stuck. They want to make a big decision, or sometimes it's not even that big a decision necessarily, but they want to make a decision and they are just too afraid because it's going to potentially cost them money, or maybe actually will cost them money. Maybe it will bring in more money, but there's a risk there. So it's a risk reward sort of situation. It's like, well, do I take this risk? What is the reward? Or do I give up on this thing for the potential return in the future? And a simple tactic that I teach people is the OODA loop. Now, I say simple, it takes a bit of time and effort. Sometimes the initial stages can take quite a bit of time, because what you're doing is you're observing and you're orienting, then you're deciding, and then you're acting. Now, the observing is to look at everything as much as you can. Look at all available information and data, look at the variables, and stop. There has to be a defined time. You can't just keep doing this forever. A lot of business owners will try and collect more data, or wait for more data, or let it percolate a little. The problem is that it could go on forever. You can just put off making the decision. So imagine if you gave yourself a certain amount of time to collect all the data, to look at the options, to look at the cost, to look at the risk, to look at the potential benefit, to run the numbers, to have a couple of conversations with relevant people, and then you orient it. So you take all of that data and you filter it through your business. You filter it through what you want for your life. You filter it through your bigger vision you have for your life and for your business. You look at it from your perspective and that of your business and your clients. You orient it. You filter it. You make it make sense in your context. So you've got all the data. You make it make sense. And there's a finite time. You decide you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. And then you act. You make the decision and act. So that's the OODA loop. Now, this is a loop because you're constantly making decisions that possibly will lead to other decisions. So you observe and you orient and you decide and you act. And you observe and you orient and you decide and you act. And we all do this in business. I've been in business for over 16 years now, and I've been coaching and training people for over 16 years now. And it's a very simple, useful way to figure out how to make a decision. Making the actual decision, I'm not saying that's simple, but if you give yourself a finite amount of time to observe everything, get all the data, orient it within your framework, and you decide and you act and you move on. And you keep doing that through business. It's a useful tool. So that helps you with analysis paralysis, because at some point you've got to make a decision in life and in business. And we all struggle with making decisions because of fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the consequences, all these different things that we have. So that's a really useful way to look at it. Observe, orient, decide, act. Do it in a finite amount of time. Give yourself a realistic amount of time, and then move forward with your decision. So hopefully that makes sense. If it does, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in the next video.